My call signs BatMando. Welcome to the showdown summary between these two squadrons, and let's go ahead and dive into it. Also, if you're brand new to our channel, welcome to our channel. Please subscribe to our transmissions. You're basically watching the highlights from a previous game that was played, and we're just going to break it down real quick. And if you want to see more, there is a video later that will show you more of what happened. Our pilots are there as listed. It's going to be a 5-on-5 fight, and we hope that it's going to be enjoyable. So in which case we got 20 points on both sides, and it's going to be scenario 2, chance engagement. So in which case, let's go ahead and jump on into this and jump to light speed, get to round 2, because nobody wants to see setup or round 1. Oh my goodness. So in which case, boom, already we're starting with a whole bunch of stuff going on. As you can see, there's a lot of shields that got left on the mat there, and the Fangs are just doing what Fangs do, getting the range 1 shot right here, rolling out of arc, and what do you know, 2 shields off of the Arvel. Not good. And then on over here, Old T, oh my goodness, range 3 shot and able to take 2 shields off of Wedge. How did that happen? Wedge just whiffed on those green die. Oh my goodness, it was terrible. So, and then you got Joy over here taking on Dutch, and unfortunately, Dutch, well, okay, Joy did a dirty thing, and we all know that Joy can do dirty things, especially using that ion torpedo charge to go ahead and take away 1 agility from her opponent. And yes, Dutch cannot defend at all, loses 2 shields. It's not looking good. And of course, you'd like to think that these 2 ships at range 1 would actually do something. No, total blanks or total whiffs or whatever happens over there, and nothing takes place. So in which case, that's all the shooting that we have here. No damages, as in critical damages, but everybody losing shields there, as in the 3 here losing shields. It's not looking good for the rebels. 50 minutes and 40 seconds remaining, 1-2 in favor of Scum. If you're asking how did they get the 2, that's because Arvel is at half already. All right, that escalated quickly. Take a look at the difference between round 2 and round 3. My goodness. Dutch is going to be 1 away from death at this point in time, because Fen does what Fen does. Arc dodge and that range 1 bonus plus Fen rouse ability. Nobody likes him, and that's why he has his nickname. So in which case, Old T over here taking on 2 X-Wings, but was able to stay out of arc of Wedge over here. Nasty, nasty, and very Scum-like. So in which case, what do you know? Old T goes ahead and does that thing where he was able to take off 1 hole from Wedge here. So, and what do you know? Old T suffers for being in range 1 of Garvin here, who had, excuse me, advanced proton torpedoes, in which case, boom. Now, so I'm actually surprised that Old T is still alive at this point in time. I mean, loose stabilizer, damage sensor rate, it's not looking good. So in which case, let's go ahead and head on over here. Joy was able to put 1 more into Arvel. Arvel did not get a chance to respond, but then Bosk, being the backstabbing lizard that he is, goes ahead and puts in not 1 but 2 crits, because he has marksmanship, and then decides to be even more awful, and he splits that 1 crit into 2 hits. He's got 2 shields off of Garvin, along with a fuel leak. It is not looking good for Garvin. And I would say that 4 out of the 5 rebel ships are all at half points at this point in time. So in which case, time remaining 33 minutes and 27 seconds. The rebels with 4, Scum with 9. It's not looking good for the rebels. Can they pull it off in the next round? And here we go to round 4. Fang Fury still fighting again. So in which case, and it is bad, bad, bad. So between the 2, apparently Fen just decided to go ahead and finish off, or should we say finish off? Yeah, that's terrible. So he finishes off that crazy thing called Dutch, adding insult to injury with a crit that is over the needed amount of hits to kill him. So in which case, then we have Old T, who's flying away here, but still doing Concordia face-off and just refusing to die. Way to go, Old T. So in which case, we got over here, Wedge is able to sneak in behind Lima, and Lima's not looking good after this first initial attack, which is going to strip 2 shields and give Lima a fuel leak, all in 1 hit from Wedge and his proton torpedoes. Now, in which case you can see that Jake did a hard turn and a boost here to get into range 1 of Lima, and went ahead and, well, Lima was able to shoot first, so in which case, looking a little bit like Han at that point in time, was able to take off 2 shields from Jake, and Jake being the lower initiative. Plus, we have Scum, who actually won road at this point in time, so their first player. So Joy goes ahead and finishes off Arvel here with a damage and a console fire, just to add insult to injury for free. And in which case, you have, oh my goodness, Jake was actually able to do something before completely being removed from the board because of the same pilot skill level. So loose stabilizer into Lima, plus another damage because of the fuel leak. It's not looking good for Lima. Plus, she's going to be limping literally in one direction, and Wedge is right behind, and you know that's not going to be good for Lima. Okay, so in which case, Garvin tried to do what he could do, and because of the talent roll, already had A stress, and then no focus, can't get old T still limping away at this point in time. But Bosk is doing something dirty. So Bosk got that shot off. Bosk got a crit. And instead of splitting it, he just kept the crit there because he knows that there's fuel leak. And oh my goodness, Panic Pilot ends up being the crit at that point in time. So you might as well say that Garvin needs to go back to the locker room and get some injuries taken care of. But unfortunately, that's not the way that X-Wing is played. And Garvin's going to be out of this game probably for or at least 3 rounds, possibly the rest of the game. So in which case, let's go ahead and move on to round 5. So those Fangs are doing what Fangs do, making a whole bunch of trouble, etc., etc. Now, miracle move here from Arvel here. You remember how he was over here, able to do some first a 2 bank, then a barrel roll, then a boost, and oh my goodness, it looks so cool when he does it. But unfortunately, he doesn't have any focus at that point in time. Too bad he's not Jake. Oh wait, Jake's dead. Sorry, State Farm. All right, moving right along. So in which case, we got Wedge here. Wedge actually is first person to shoot this time because Fenn over here, no shots, nothing in range. So in which case, that's unfortunate. So in which case, we have Garvin over here. Garvin went ahead and took a couple of shots into Joy here, but Joy not giving up anything. And guess what? We go ahead and see that Joy was able to return a couple of shots with 2 damage into Wedge, and that means Wedge is 1 away from death. I mean, we got a lot of people that are 1 away from death at this point in time. So you got Wedge, you got Arvel, all 1 away from death. Old T on the other side, 1 away from death. And I mean, Lima's not that far off. I mean, 3 points away from death, but it's a 1 agility ship. So we're not looking good at this point in time. Rebels with 8 points and Scum with 17. Time left at the end of the round 5 is 9 minutes and 41 seconds. And oh my goodness, let's see what happens in the next round. So there it is. Oh, it's game over, man. Game over. So in which case, here it is. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on here. Now, something that surprised me at this point in time was Wedge decided to disarm and get a shield back because he has that droid. It's Battle of Yavin Wedge. So in which case, there you go. So now you also see that Old T here is going ahead and running away, and Arvel here was chasing down Old T to no avail, and then Garvin here decided to go ahead and slip on in and take a 1 bank into the center here, trying to avoid fire from both of these 2 scum ships, but unfortunately could not dodge a range 3 obstructed shot from Joy here. Yeah, that's right. So Joy was able to go ahead and get in 1 damage and leave Garvin with the loose stabilizer. A lot of that loose stabilizer is going around here. We need to look at who's building these ships. So unfortunately with Fenn was not able to finish off Wedge at all. So I think he actually whiffed his shot completely, and I guess that's what happens when you're out of the fight for a round. So in which case, this is where it comes to the end because time has elapsed, not to mention Scum already gets 20 points at this time because more points because Garvin's dead, and the Rebels with 9 points. So that's how this game was wrapped up. And in which case, let's go ahead and do our wrap up. So thank you so much. If you would like to see a more in-depth look at this, you should go ahead and check out our field report playlist. If you got any questions, feel free to send me an email there. And thank you to SlidesGo for this particular slideshow format, and also to Flat Icon and FreePick. So thank you. And let's go ahead and say it again. Welcome to our channel. Please subscribe to our transmissions, and we hope to see you on a mat playing away your game and everything else. And if you have any further questions, you know where to find me. So send me an email. And this is BatMando checking out. Thank you for watching our Showdown summary.